this session, we are going to start with Chapter 5, Basic Elementary Shapes. In this session, we are going to discuss how to compare two line or line segment. See the two pair of lines displayed. The first pair is with red color and the second line is with yellow color. Just looking at the two lines, can you tell which line is longer, the first one or the second one? Here, the answer is easy. We can see and tell that the second line, this line, red color line, is longer than the first one. This is by mere observation. Just by looking at the line, we can clearly see and say. But what about the second case? Here you see the yellow color lines. This is difficult to tell that which line is longer. This method of comparing was comparison made by observation, where we simply observe the two lines of the line segment and can tell which line segment or line is greater. But in this case, can you tell just by observing the two line segments which line segment is longer, AB or CD? Here it becomes a bit difficult to tell. In that case, we can also compare line by tracing. Now what is this method? Take again this example. In this case, when it becomes difficult by observing, we can trace one line segment on the tracing paper, keep it on the other line segment, and then by comparison we can check which line segment is longer. That means take a piece of tracing paper, place it over line segment AB. Take your ruler and draw a line keeping it on line AB and trace a line on the tracing paper. Now take out that tracing paper and now place it on the other line. If the tracing paper line is shorter and you see the other line is longer, which can be seen through the tracing paper, that means AB is shorter and the other line is longer. This is the method which we have discussed. Take a piece of tracing paper, place it on line AB and draw a line. So here I have drawn it with red color. Now take out the tracing paper and place it on the other line. Three cases can take place. First is, through the tracing paper, you will be able to see some extra line beneath the tracing paper. Second line on which you have kept, it must be longer. Or the second case may be the tracing paper line exceeds then the line on which you have kept. Or the third case may be the two line segments are exactly of same length. So this method is better than the comparison of two line segments by observation method. There is another way to compare the line segments, that is by using a ruler. In this case, you place the ruler on the first line, measure the length of the line segment, then again place it on the second line and measure the length of the another line segment. Then compare the measurements of both the line segments. Here also you will clearly and easily understand which line segment is longer, but here also there are some problems which we may face. The first thing is, maybe the scale do not have a smooth edge, that is the corner, it must be broken, or the mark 0 is broken. This is the correct scale, the second one. Or sometimes the thickness of the scale is more, so it becomes difficult to measure. So these are few examples of the difficulties which one may face during measuring the line segment using a scale or a ruler. What is the other way? The next way of comparing two line segments is using the divider. This method is much more better than even using ruler. Here you place the tip of the divider on the starting point of the line segment and the another point of the divider on the end point of the line segment. Then, without changing the measurement, bring it near to the scale, place it over the scale and measure. This way is better because here you will get an accurate measure. Take for example in this case we have two line segments MN and ST. To measure MN, one end point is kept on the point M and the another end point of the divider is placed on point N. Now slowly remove from this line segment and place it on the other line. Can you see ST? Here this point was N. That means this line segment ST is more than line segment MN. So what we have discussed so far? In this session we have discussed that we can compare the two line segments by various methods. It can be by comparison through observation method, or you can compare the two line segments by tracing method, or you can place the ruler on the line segment and measure the length of the line segments and find out which length is longer, or the last one is comparison by divider